Maybe they go for something more here. If he can connect the route, he does.
They're just going to chase it forward. Labrov really should have flashed before the slow from the Winter's fight. Now he's just dead.
And now, realistically, we'll see the play in response from Sheo on this top side.
So much credit to MDK as the waller comes down. Nuke was tanking the tower, has to flash. Myrwn looking for the house in the back, but instead he uses the boomerang. And you have to watch that Nav as he gets in behind BDS. Nuke has the flash. Jenax keeps Myrwn at bay, but Nuke is locked up. The Nav into the wall, doesn't even need to kill off Nuke.
And welcome back to the ADC as Mad Lions Koi are 1 game away from reaching the very first finals as an organization and with the team. So I'm here to check in with the man himself, the co-stream from Ibai. Gracias. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are 1 game away, as I said, from reaching the very first finals. What is the mood like? What are the emotions right now, Ibai?
Que estamos a un mapa, que cómo sientes esas emociones, cómo lo estás viendo.
La verdad que estamos muy emocionados porque estamos a un mapa de la final. No mucha gente confiaba en nosotros. Es normal porque obviamente había muchos... Sí, obviamente eran jugadores que no eran tan conocidos a nivel internacional, pero nosotros teníamos fe y teníamos ganas de demostrar lo que era nuestro equipo, ¿no?
And he said that a lot of people didn't trust in this roster because there is a lot of rookies, and we are like giving. I think that people is slowly trusting us, and we are so happy to be 1 game away. It's like a dream for us.
Well, Ibai, first off, lo siento, no estaba familiarizada con tu juego, and I think the entirety of the LEC is getting familiar with what Lions Koi had to offer. Can you address the fan one last time before hopefully taking the 3rd game? What should they be feeling like, and tell the fans how they should cheer for the team one last time?
¿Qué les quieres decir a los fans? Estamos en un momento muy especial, falta una partida para estar en la final, que todo tuyo.
Nada, que gracias a toda la comunidad española y latinoamericana que nos apoyan, que sé que estamos diferentes países apoyando el equipo, a las carpas que están aquí también representando desde Berlín, y gracias a todo el mundo y vamos a por ello. Gracias.
Best of luck. Thank you so much. And Skane, thank you so much as well for translating. Sjokz, back to you for game 3.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome check-in for sure. The energy is palpable, but of course, they still have to bring it home. But we cannot go around the fact that for Mad Lions Koi, the whole playoffs weekend, and then even more yesterday, and I think even more today, Goldberg, they're feeling themselves more and more with every game they play, and they are just so confident in everything they try.
Oh, it's been an absolute fairy tale for this roster. It just feels like everything they want to achieve, they just make it work. I think the foundation of bringing in these rookies and what they're already achieving this early into the season is fantastic for them moving forward. Even in this playoff series that we've had so far, they've not been given an inch to BDS, and they've just been falling behind over and over again.
They have, and I think we do need to look at the side of BDS as well, right, Broxah, because they have the situation they need to deal with in the top lane. But aside from that, do you think they are not playing to their strength? Do you think they're leaving something on the Rift here where they could be making adaptations?
I think it might be worth making a comparison to the Fnatic that had to play without Oscar Rinin for a while, because that Fnatic was still able to play the way they usually did. Everybody was still stepping up. They just plugged in a different top laner and they look like the same team. But BDS now, I think Jenax has been doing fine considering the circumstances. He's just being put in very difficult matchups, and as a result of that, can't really have an impact. But the rest of the team is looking miserable. I don't know what's happening. It's like the drafts make literally no sense. Like whoever drafted that is not showing enough interest in winning from my point of view, no offense. But
all the offense.
The players too, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Where are they at? Like this is not the team that showed up against G2.
I think that's the big one as well. It's just individuality showing. In a situation like this where you don't have the main top laner, you have to show up even more than you used to. And now it just feels like they're showing up even less. I think Nuke specifically on this Corki, he had a rough series and it showed, and I'm really hoping that they pull it together because they need to step it up moving forward now.
Yeah, you can kind of see that the belief isn't really there. That's what we feel, at least. BDS did elect to go to the red side. They want to change it up, and I think, you know, if you haven't been cooking on blue, you might as well. But to bring it back to that team on the other side, of which we're going to see some highlights now as well, just the sheer dedication, right, in every play that they try to do, that they try to counter, that they try to make work on the Rift, no matter the picks, and they have a lot of them. Broxah, it's, you know, it's I think you kind of see the fact that they were undervalued, then they knew the project, they believed in the project, and they also wanted to learn every time they lost the game. That's what I'm starting to see here, it feels like.
I really love the Mad Lions Koi story, and I love that they proved everybody, including myself, so wrong. Like, this is just a beautiful story of a team where, sure, some of them knew each other before the year even began, but you've been able to see it since the start of the split. They're friends, they're happy, they enjoy playing together, they enjoy working together. And they had a couple of rough losses at the start, but every time they reach a whole other level and they just keep building and building. And I think where they're at now, man, it's so impressive. I can't wait to see where they're going to be at the end of the year.
It's so close they can taste the final, and that can be dangerous. We've seen it before, especially now that BDS have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. So maybe we get a few more games. But you know what? I'm not feeling it. How about you?
It's looking dire.
Feeling it either. MDK have looked very strong so far. It's been just under a year since these two teams met in a best of 5. It was our spring finals last year. BDS did go 2-0 up, and then MDK ended up winning it, or Mad Lions at the time. Obviously a very different roster today.
Was it a reverse sweep, though?
It was a reverse sweep.
You know?
BDS fans out there, you got your fingers crossed, you got your toes crossed, you're pressing your thumbs, as they say here in Germany, but BDS having selected red side will have to change things up a little bit. There's the center ban, Kai'Sa banned away once again by Mad Lions Koi.
So, how will things be shaken up? The Ashe going to be banned away. Mad Lions Koi, as you rightly said, moving over to the blue side, now hesitant. Something that was often banned away from Ice, particularly by G2 in their best of 5 last week. He's not going to get his hands on it.
Yeah, I mean, you can still look for things like the Maokai ban to come through. I'm surprised we haven't seen much in the way of Renata coming through this series. I know, obviously, we've seen the Twisted Fate comp in Game 1, which will be taken away by BDS, but I still think in teamfights she's very, very strong. But curious to see what the response is going to be.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Yep,
yeah,
and then you kind of have to ban. It's a choice between Karma and Varus. You imagine that if Karma isn't banned, then it's first pick Varus. If it's not Varus, then it's first pick Karma.
You'd have to deal with the flex regardless. Is the problem, because Myrwn will play it, but I think Karma, going to get picked up here. I think Fresskowy is going to be able to take that into mid. Could also kind of push Ice now to feel like he has to go for the Ezreal takeaway, because you could go Ezreal Karma in that bottom lane and try and make things a little bit more uncomfortable. So I think he got a good opportunity here as Mad Lions Koi to try and push BDS into territory that they're not comfortable with.
Sheo, something we have seen from Sheo a few times across the course of this split, now locked in for him. It was his most played coming into this series. There's the Ezreal, as you said. Good prediction there, Dagda. Now Mad Lions Koi have to answer. Likely AD carry jungle here. That's what we tend to see.
Usually. Question is, what AD carry do they want to do? Vi for a little bit more lockdown. Question is, what AD carry do you go for? Do they want to consider the Xayah again? Are they thinking for the Aphelios of themselves? Maybe they want to go something different.
I was going to say, we saw the Kai'Sa from Supa yesterday into this matchup, and I think it does work well. Yeah, there you go.
It's his most played across the course of his career, almost an 80% win rate on it as well, so very comfortable on this champ.
And you got a ton of dive to set up for it as well. I mean, the CC coming through from the cease and desist would do very nicely to set you up for that Kai'Sa. If you want to try and dive backline, you've already got good shields for both of those that can come through from the Karma.
I feel like Mad Lions right now is looking for a Nautilus K'Sante second half rotation.
Big time, yeah.
So how will BDS respond? Well, nukes Azir, no surprise there. He wants to make sure he locks in his mid laner within the first 3 rotations. Then they ban away things like the Orianna and the Hui. But you have to imagine this Karma is going mid. When I look at what they're currently drafting, the only question I have is whether they actually put the Karma in the top lane or if they actually keep it in the mid lane. My expectations are it's going to get kept mid. But we talked about how if you're Mad Lions, right now you're looking at Nautilus K'Sante, immediately the Nautilus is going to be taken away from Mad Lions Koi.
I wonder if Mad Lions aren't too worried about giving the K'Sante over once again. BDS could pick it on 4. Obviously, you could pick support and try and give Jenax a counter pick top as well, but Myrwn has not had a problem with top lane at all this series.
I'd also be very worried if you take away the K'Sante, you give something like the Gwen on the opposite side, because you've got like great dive already set up, and yes, Gwen doesn't really like jump through the front line particularly well, but the through shot with the ultimate makes it very, very difficult for you to, if you are locked up, to try and deal with that. So I think you're in a bit of an awkward spot. I think they'll leave counter pick here for Jenax on that last rotation. More than likely take something that makes things a little bit easier. Could even be something like a Braum here if you really want to in that bottom side, to just ensure whatever dive you're following up here from Mad Lions Koi gets nullified by the Braum. Because even like an Alistar, which you could go for Alvaro here, doesn't really want to go matched up into that Braum.
Rakan, okay. I was thinking to myself, I was like, Renata, and there's another one that I'm going to... Oh, it was Rakan. That's the word I was looking for. So how do BDS round this out? My expectations are they'd want to try and lock in a support here, unless, as you rightly said, they want to go for the K'Sante blind.
Would be a risk, as Dagda pointed out. Gwen, very powerful.
They take
the Alistar. Something we have seen Labrov go to from time to time.
So the question is, do Mad Lions... Yeah, I was going to say, do they want the Braum, or do they want something to complement the dive a little bit more that's been coming out from the Kai'Sa and the Vi?
I think it's a good matchup for you, but I think it's terrible in the composition, because you want to go forward, and what's Braum really, you know, going to do here for you? Yes, you could follow up maybe with the ultimate, but honestly, I actually think that Nico...
I was going to say, I was actually thinking to myself, like a Lissandra support or a Nico support could be really good.
Renata
as well,
yeah, there we go.
Really well into compositions that want to jump in on you.
Well, I think that the only problem is Renata's... Oh, Akali. So the beauty of this Akali is they can flex it. Because Karma, Odoamne said on the desk that Karma's just a great neutralizer, regardless of what top lane champion she's playing into. So if it's a really difficult top lane matchup, they can just send the Karma up there, put the Akali in mid. If they actually think it's a winning matchup for the Akali, then they can send the Akali top, especially if BDS want to round out with a K'Sante. So... they're going to do the Lee Sin. So that's the Lee Sin top for Jenax. For those that don't remember, back when Jenax was playing on SK, this was one of his go-to picks in the top lane. He had a lot of comfort with it, and he's showcased a lot of success with it. But naturally, this is just going to force the Akali into mid.
Yeah, which is why I don't really understand. Like, we saw there's a video already, right, where he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to plunk it in towards the Akali. Good matchup there. But I think you're perfectly happy as the Karma to just go, cool, I'll shove waves against you all day long. I have the shield to speed up to make this Sonic Wave very difficult to hit. And it just overall is a difficult matchup for the Lee Sin to play. So for Mad Lions Koi, I think you're happy with the way things have turned out. And overall, like, you... almost everywhere you have a matchup that at least does okay, apart from, like, you won't get push in mid, but it's still a fine matchup, whereas I think you get push on both sides and you're in a great spot here to keep the game in your control.
A lot of dive from MDK. I would say that this one is just as skirmish heavy as what we saw from the first game. Early levels, not the greatest, but Kai'Sa, she loves playing into Ezreal just because she gets a freer lane. She gets the opportunity to scale up and ramp up, and you already said it, Medic. This is one of Supa's most successful champions across his entire career. We got to see him play it yesterday against Fnatic. You know what, BDS, they've kind of stayed true to their style. They have a solid front line, they have good engage, they've got decent range. How can this Lee Sin shake things up for BDS? Jenax, given something that was one of his most successful picks when he was competing here in the LEC.
Yeah, had 3 games on it, over 22 and 21. 1-2 of those lost. One was the time when Lee Sin top was meta as well, which I don't really feel like it is as much right now. Let's see how much BDS can do with a more eclectic top lane pick. Usually expect to see that coming out from Myrwn, but here playing the Karma, a great neutralizer. We mentioned in the top lane. We are into game 3 of this best of 5. MDK 1 game away from the final. Elyoya and friends, they were called at the start of the split when the roster was announced. Here, they have shown that, well, the power of friendship greater than anything you guys can muster. As they continue to subvert expectations.
BDS also want to prove that the start of the split was just no fluke. Of course, I think that BDS came into this year with a very solid playstyle. They only made a single change, replacing their AD carry. They had an approach which was very Dragon-focused and teamfight-focused last year. It netted them a decent amount of success, particularly in spring, but the criticism levied towards them was that they were one-dimensional, was that they could only really take advantage of one style, and that question was brought up in winter. They did try to show us different things, but ultimately, a large part of their success was their team fighting. They were better at 5v5ing than many of the other teams that we had here in the split, but now, a few more weeks have passed, teams have had an opportunity to better understand how to play together, and Mad Lions Koi feel like that synergy that they've been working on, the level of competition they've adjusted to, and now they're looking to push BDS out of the Winter Split. And imagine that, an incredible run throughout the playoffs, but then to go 0-3 against G2 and then 0-3 against Mad Lions Koi. must feel extremely frustrating if you're on the side of BDS.
Especially with the hype that was around them back in spring when they got to finals, were 2 games up, and you thought, this is the time for BDS. We're going to get to see them go the distance and, you know, really revitalize what was this organization's kind of history and story. But not being able to find that and falling to Mad Lions in the finals was heartbreaking. And now BDS again coming in here. It's winter the following year, struggling now against Mad Lions Koi, not being able to find that success, and could once more fall short. It's just heartbreaking for any of the BDS fans out there.
Well, let's see. Of course, they do still have the ability to turn things around. This game isn't over by any means. We're, of course, in the early laning phase, and naturally we turn our attention towards the junglers. Full bot side clear from Elyoya, pathing up towards the top side, maybe even threatening a dive. Perhaps he just wants to get a bit of information. Sheo, though, starting on red and immediately moving into a bot side clear to cover for any early potential invade. And it seems that Elyoya was anticipating that. We've been talking about it so much, this idea of doing this early red into movement into bot to cover, but he expected this red buff to be up because the typical path is Raptors into bot side clear, so he thought that he found his window where he could steal away the red. Unfortunately for him, that's exactly where Sheo started. So no advantage going to be gained for him. He's going to continue clearing through his top side, and now Supa and Alvaro need to be a little careful.
Have a ward in the pixel bush. That will spot Sheo. He does come around here. He's just really waiting for the Scuttle Crab to spawn on this bottom side. He could go up towards top lane again and clear out his Razorbeaks and his Krugs, but then he'd be delayed, and if Elyoya had just gone straight for that topside Scuttle Crab, there's no guarantee that Sheo would be able to get a crab of his own, and they are so darn delicious. He secures this bot side one, steps in towards this red side jungle, will likely place a ward on the Razorbeaks, might look towards mid, could just reset here. Instead, he'll work his way back across towards his own Razors, probably after these couple of minions have gone down. Decides against it. Could have waited until he was out of vision, but Nuke can't really shove in this next wave that quickly, so instead just shows as he passes through mid.
I think he should know, though, that as soon as you see the Vi on this ward, that the Scuttle Crab on topside wasn't taken, so an opportunity for him to go for the double scuttle, despite the fact that Myrwn has push on topside. You can see Sheo kind of responding to that. So it is a big win for Sheo, even with just being able to go, hey, I can get double scuttle, finish Krugs, reset, and then come back into my bottom side and put threat onto Supa and Alvaro as they're looking for that play. And at that stage, Elyoya should be back on his top side of the map.
Elyoya, though, already on the reclears, or the respawns, I should say, of his bot side camps. Xin hovering around top.
Will he hide in the pixel or will he go Krugs? Now they know Myrwn's missing. They now spot him on the Scuttle Crab vision. Myrwn. Oh, he knows something's happening. Jenax moved.
Wrong.
And there we are. He'll spot it with the Summonary.
He's like, why is Jenax running at me? This doesn't seem right. Great awareness from him. Bit of a nice trade in favor of Mad Lions Koi. Kind of forced Labrov back to base.
Yeah, Supa and Alvaro actually got a recall off, or at least Supa did at some point while they were still able to push this wave out. So a bit of a cheat, I mean, they had the double longsword. Labrov was trying to hold the wave in the bot lane, but he takes about 3/4 of his health to do so and doesn't even manage to keep the wave outside of the tower. So a couple of minions do die to that turret, which means Ice about probably going to end up around 7 or 8 CS behind.
So because we saw Sheo try and make the play on top side that was thwarted, he ends up spending time at his Krugs, finishing them, now looking for the reset. Because of that, Elyoya just immediately runs top to get the white grubs because he knows that with the timing window that he has, Sheo can't try and contest them. Now Jenax
flashes, Myrwn has to flash, Sonic Wave hits, and the kick back up the Inspire shield. You gotta think about these things, Jenax. Forces Myrwn away. It's a flash for flash burns in the top lane.
I still think that's a favorable trade for Jenax, though. As you rightly said, flash for flash. He also puts the wave in a really nice spot. He has his TP available. So I'd love to see him just clear up. Well, I mean, he can set up for the freeze, go back to base, TP back to lane. It looks like that he's sticking around for now. He's going to completely break that freeze, and he's just going to choose to push in that wave instead, and then look to get a reset through. I guess from his perspective, he's like, I'm playing against the Karma anyway.
Yeah,
even if I try to set up a freeze, she's just going to mantra Q my wave, and then there's nothing that I can do about it.
I do agree with you. I think he should have taken that reset while he had the chance, because but now you're going to get pushed out. You're going to have to try and look for the reset here.
It should
anyway,
be fine, though, because of the timing of the wave.
You can TP back in. So, yeah, I thought Myrwn might be able to push this in a little bit quicker, but yeah, it'll be all right. But it's still, if you can pick up like a pink ward off the back of this, and suddenly you've got like kick reset as Sheo's coming up topside, Myrwn's going to be in a lot of trouble if Jenax is able to get that combo off and set up nicely for Sheo on a third auto attack to just pop him up in the air.
No, I will say, I'm always surprised that we see so many Akalis with CS leads into the Azir. Even though many will say that you know, at a certain point, it becomes very favorable for Akali. But in the early laning phase, you still have a huge range advantage. And I feel like that Azir should still be able to build at least somewhat of a CS lead in the early game. Regardless, Fresskowy doing a very good job in the mid lane 1v1.
Elyoya a level up here as well. Knows that Sheo kind of has to back off. No vision for Sheo means that Elyoya can just smite the camp. Sheo tries to steer it away. Elyoya looking for a little bit more because Myrwn has that wave crash and it's a cannon wave. There's so many CS there that Jenax really desires to devour. Sheo will start up the Krugs now. Elyoya won't come back.
Yeah, Myrwn got spotted though. Maybe Jenax just hops over the wall, boots him into Sheo. So you do have to be a little bit careful there as Myrwn. We'll just back away with the shield and the movement speed to get on out before Jenax is able to come over just as it clears out that wave. So at least a little bit of pressure there. Nicely done by Elyoya to try and use the fact he has the pushing top. But yeah, now just hovering mid as this wave will crash for Nuke, and Fresskowy just wants to try and pick this one up.
Once again, a quiet early game. Something we didn't see too much between MDK and Fnatic yesterday. Usually people died at level 1. Today, every early game has been relatively slow, at least in terms of MDK's usual pace. But they've still been able to get these gold leads in their lanes. You can see a lead for Elyoya, a slight lead for Supa and Alvaro in the bottom lane. Jenax trying to get this wave in. Fresskowy still farming underneath his tower. And no early Drake either from BDS. Three grubs were picked up by Elyoya a few minutes ago. And Sheo has decided he needs to get to that level 6 before they can really contest the Drake. And also not having push in the bot lane makes it a lot trickier for him to play towards it. Labrov is now 6 though. And the Unbreakable Will, a great tool for Alistar when you do look towards these fights.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to try and play off it, although mid lane Alvaro, off that reset time, we're trying to go mid, but a nice ward from Nuke will keep him safe there. And Labrov hasn't matched the reset though, hovering in towards this mid lane as well. Sheo on his blue. I don't know if they can really get anything here, but even the fact that Labrov hasn't got a reset off, if he goes for... oh, here we go.
Season's assist, tries to flash away, pulled back with a handshake, the bailout. Hostile takeover used, but Nuke's still very healthy. Did have to burn the summoner for this. A cease and desist and hostile takeover invested by MDK.
Fresskowy messed up the timing of his art. He used it just as the Emperor's Divide, so the first half actually got interrupted. He then could have gambled throwing out his E to be able to close the gap, but at that point, Labrov would have been in a position to also provide peel, and there's a good chance that he would have been knocked underneath his tower. So ultimately, patient play from Nuke. He's able to flash to create distance between him and the Akali, and then the ultimate timing means that it's very difficult for the rest of MDK to follow up. This gives a window for BDS to actually move over to the Dragon and secure it, even though their mid laner has to recall, because they know that 3 ultimates were committed off the back of that play, so they should have the advantage in the event that MDK wanted to try and force a fight.
Yeah, it did feel a little bit overforced from Madeline's Koi though. Like, you saw the Sheo was there, you saw the Labrov was there, and they still were like, no, we can make this play happen. So I think just overforcing a little bit on that one.
They still get the flash out though, so ultimately a win, and it sets them up nicely for another place.
Broxah's going to flash onto Alvaro. No flash, remember, on this Renata, and nowhere for him to go. The bailout buys you a second, but like most bailouts, doesn't really do much in terms of the economic status of Alvaro. A kill goes over to Labrov. He's going to get a turret plate here in the bottom lane.
These are the consequences of the play that was invested in mid. While they do get the flash out from Nuke, it was at the cost of Alvaro's flash as well. He loses his life. Plates are going to be funneled into ice. BDS draw themselves first blood. A small goal lead for now. Let's see if they can keep this momentum going as while they do secure the Dragon. 6 grubs secured for MDK.
Yeah, and I think that's, as Vedius was kind of saying, you had an opportunity there to go, hey, we play this slow, Supa and Alvaro will get push on bot. We can still just look for the Dragon control that we need and play forward. Choke points for Alvaro's ult, for Elyoya to be able to follow and like play that style, which I think is how Madeline's quite want to try and set up those fights, but looking for the pick on mid, bit of an overextension, and then BDS like, cool, well Elyoya will want to try and cross-map for Void Grubs, it's what he always does, so let's go for the play on bot.
Was the latest first blood in an MDK game this split by about 2 minutes as well as the kick away here from Jenax. Just trying to keep Myrwn at bay. The mantra'd focus resolve gives Myrwn so much healing. You can see the shielding as well, but Labrov is here. Myrwn does have the flash, but does he have any way to get out of this? I don't think so, as BDS claim their second.
So Labrov making his presence known in this game. Helps find that kill onto Alvaro in bot lane, roams up towards the top side of the map and assists in getting this kill onto Myrwn as well. BDS with 2 kills, a 1k gold lead, and BDS definitely looking to do a little bit more here in this early game.
Yeah, really nice stuff from Labrov, though. I mean, he's brought out the Alistar once already this season, but it was something that he made his name on at Worlds as well, where he was just roaming, doing great on these engages. And I think for BDS, this is where we want to see him have that kind of performance that he had at Worlds on this champion as well. Like, set up these big engages for BDS so then you can follow through very effectively, because at the end of the day, if he doesn't perform, it's going to be tough for BDS to try and find these correct fights.
Had a very disappointing game too as well. That Blitzcrank so powerful for them during the regular season. He didn't seem to be able to hit a hook, and you could praise MDK for that, or you can put down Labrov a little bit. But so far this game, picked up a kill and an assist in that top lane, now working his way down towards this bottom side of the map. No Drake for 2.5 minutes. MDK just playing for vision and the invades that Elyoya has been pulling off, giving him about a 14 CS lead. 3.5 count. Takes flash onto Alvaro. Elyoya is here. There's the hostile takeover invested. Berserk landing on 2 though. Ice knocked up with a 3-talent strike. Didn't get many autos down on Sheo, so both Ice and Sheo actually come out of the affair relatively healthy. Elyoya looking for more as he lands the knock up onto Sheo. Crescent guard down. Labrov. They're fighting a 4v3. Bailout being used as Elyoya is not brought back from the brink of death. Fresskowy trying to dodge around this fight as much as possible, but Ice begins to open up. Fresskowy dodges to the top side. Ice dashes towards the bot side. The rest of BDS have gone to try and chase the Akali, who still has flash, and Ice is left in a 2v1 down towards bot.
Sheo still coming down towards his bot side though, knows that they're low, wants to see what else he can get done. Flash is available for both players and a heal, so I don't think you can overextend here, Sheo.
Handshake, pulls him back. Sheo dashes forward, super low, the bailout in. The killer instinct won't be enough, no. Not enough damage for Sheo to fall and Supa to be revived.
I'm surprised that Supa held on to his ultimate for so long. Maybe it was just coming off cooldown, but if he'd used it a little earlier, that shield might have been enough to mitigate some of the burst. Maybe just wasn't quite expecting it. Regardless, we look back at this fight. The engage comes through. Elyoya very quickly becomes isolated as he gets shut down by the damage from Sheo. Labrov is taking up so much damage that Fresskowy has to clean it up. He's then forced to use the ultimate to retreat. But then we see this re-engage. And I believe that the ultimate is available, but Supa just chooses not to use it. Like, I feel like that there was a window there where he could have popped it, throws it out afterwards, and if one more auto attack, if that passive had procced, he very likely would have been able to live. But Ice shuts that down, and now BDS lead in kills 4-1.
And a 1.2k gold lead for them. Drake up in 40 seconds. Second of the game. MDK have fought every second dragon after giving up the first so far this series. We'll see if they decide that this one requires a battle as well. Labrov does have the Unbreakable Will backup. Flashes across the board for BDS, whereas MDK have the same. Elyoya positioning to look down towards that bottom lane. It's Nuke who's pushing it out. Likely shifted down there when Ice reset after the kill in the bottom lane. Ice went mid to catch that wave. And Sheo has decided the Rift hold a higher priority for them. Probably want to try and crack that mid tier 1 to open up the map a little bit more for Labrov.
Nearly the steal from Ice there. Nice attempt, but yeah, Madeline's going to turn over towards the dragon, make sure they're able to secure that on the counter push, but Ice doesn't have the greatest push in mid, so maybe Sheo just decides to toss it down.
Knock back onto Alvaro, who does still have the flash. He'll invest it. Nuke caught up with a cease and desist. He dashes away. Supa does have the killer instinct, but won't chase any further. Fresskowy coming in. TP invested by Jenax and by Myrwn. Hostile takeover. Jenax goes berserk, but not able to get in range for the Alistar. Dragon resets and BDS give it up.
Way too much invested from BDS towards that, though. You made your choice. Like, you decided that you wanted to go for Rift Herald. The trade will always go towards Madeline's Koi. They could have maybe looked for push in mid into Rift Herald and look for something, or even like look for a play on top side. But trying to contest that bot side and investing that much just puts you so far behind.
I agree with you. I think the Herald play probably would have been their best option. They had numbers advantage mids.
Jenax no flash, has the kick, misses the sonic wave, so no escape through Elyoya. Jenax pulls the safeguard. Not living up to its name as MDK find another.
And this should unlock this bot tower as well. Azir gonna destroy the top lane on. Myrwn has his eyes on Sheo, does of course have the flash.
First route comes out. The wind becomes lightning. Crescent guard invested as well, and Sheo pulled back with a handshake. They're just running into the meat grinder. BDS want their cake, they want to eat it too, but MDK are picking up the crumbs as BDS are leading them on a merry chase. There's so many easy kills. To MDK, it was 1 and 4 a minute ago, now it's 4 and 4. They lose tier 1 in the bot lane. They're going to lose damage on the tier 2 as well. Nuke gets to push in, but what an absolute disaster class from BDS.
They wanted their cake and it ends up on their face instead. Yes, you'll get the... What?
Nope.
No, Alvaro with the shield, but as you say, I mean, you lose bot tier 2, you lose a bunch of kills. Yes, you will get some damage on mid turret, but Supa now moving top to try and defend the top tier 2.
It's likely that they're going to lose this. Nuke is going to spot Supa out.
Nuke has no flash. Supa might just take the fight.
Yeah, but he has the tower as well.
Okay, yep, Supa maybe shouldn't have taken that fight. The killer instinct comes out and Supa's dead. Okay, well, so you could see what he was thinking, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
it all through.
Just as BDS made a number of mistakes in the bot side, big one there from Supa.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what just happened with the last couple of fights. If we could just like reset, just wipe that off from memory, but we won't get to because there's a replay. Wait, Jenax overextending, they have no control on bot side after losing the fight. Then Sheo decides ding round 2, he's going to defend the tower, and then goes, wait, I think I just saw this movie. This doesn't end well for us. He goes down, but Labrov is like, no, I'm here to watch it with you. And it's like a horror film where you all just end up hiding behind the couch instead of actually watching the movie.
Fnatic may have been knocked out yesterday, but that's absolute cinema to me. As Labrov does end up falling, then we see Supa try and kill off an Azir. Ibai happy for a moment, then
left his
I
body
feel like,
hanging. Oh no!
I feel like that kind of finger went, hang on a minute, hang on.
Still, where do we end up after that? Well, MDK got the Dragon before that sequence of events began, an Infernal to their name, 1,000 gold lead for BDS, but the kill score evened out a little bit. 6 Void Grubs, over to MDK and Elyoya. The Rift Hold still in Sheo's pocket, so now we'll see how BDS decide to use that. They did take the tier 2 and the tier 1, I believe, in top lane, and got the tier 1 in mid over the last few moments.
Yeah, I mean, BDS still have a moderate gold lead for now.
All of it's on ice, man.
Yeah. But it was largely off the back of BDS picking up all those towers on the top side of the map. So MDK, they've lost quite a lot of control. You'll notice as well all of this vision being invested right now. Nuke, with a very deep push, does have the assistance of his support. MDK trying to counter by pressuring mids, but as long as his tower is up, it's going to be that much harder. So we're mainly waiting for these neutrals. Dragon going to be spawning in about a minute 20. And MDK looking to try and get a bit of priority over that objective.
Yeah, I think this is where Myrwn has to stay on the top side of the map for MDK, because you want him to try and push against Nuke because he's pushing in top side, and then can rotate in towards mid to clear out with Supa on the mid wave, because it becomes very difficult for Supa to try and contest the push from BDS. And we're going to get to see it now where at least BDS can push in mid, but you're looking for a pick here as Mad Koi before Ice can really get into position. But with Arcane Shift, Flash, Cleanse, it's hard to get that. I think BDS can then set up for the play they want, but they're not even looking for it, it feels like, at the moment.
Keep your eyes on Fresskowy in these upcoming fights. Yesterday on his Gragas, we saw him with some incredible flanks, and I imagine he's going to be looking to do something very similar on the Akali this time around. If he can get on top of either the Ezreal or the Azir, he can make their life very difficult.
Sheo's going to Rift Herald top. That will push in while the Dragon fight starts for BDS. It's only the second Dragon of the game, but they might even use it as pressure towards this Baron.
I think it's too late, though. You're 25 seconds until Dragon's up and available. By the time that walks into any sort of threatening position, it's not there. So
with both the towers
it is basically a case of, if BDS win the fight, it's a bigger win for them, because immediately they can TP top onto the Rift Herald and use that to crack the base. But if they don't win the fight, that's going to get cleared out. So you're on a timer here as BDS.
Myrwn going to respond to the threat in the top lane. He has TP, flashes across the board for everyone. Fresskowy looking for that flank position, but Sheo is shepherded by 3 more players from his team. Myrwn able to push this back out. Ice, Arcane shifting forward. Always a risky proposition as an Ezreal.
I think you drop this, though. I think if I'm Mad Koi, screw Dragon, I push mid, try and get mid tower, rotate up towards top. Like, defend the Rift Herald play, and you're perfectly happy. And I think that's like, I would have preferred if instead of Elyoya moving in towards this bot side, he actually like leveraged up towards top. I know you're going to be fine with Myrwn doing this, but it could be a potential TP from Jenax to save that top tower now, if with Elyoya being spotted.
Labrov was looking for vision here. Now he's got the flash. Even with Fresskowy coming across, Labrov should be able to walk away. The Trailblazer so powerful on the Alistar. You can see Labrov decided not to auto after he got the knock-up, just knocks Elyoya away, and then still has that movement speed from his item.
Still, though, I think Mad Koi kind of missed their opportunity to take the silent play. And as BDS, you're perfectly happy now. You get to play off of, look, Ice is going to complete his third item right before we probably look towards, about an item and a half, or sorry, half an item before we look towards the next big Dragon. maybe you can look towards pushes and getting vision again in this topside jungle. And if Myrwn is not able to contest topside push as effectively because of that lack of vision, it becomes very easy for BDS to shift Jenax in behind towers and start looking for kicks on towards Supa or Alvaro or someone who's left underneath the tower there.
Just as a typical rule of thumb, you should always be trying to cross map. Yep. If Team A is getting one thing, you should be able to get something on the other side of the map. And in this case, as Dagda was highlighting, right, there were all these mid and top towers that were available. And even if you couldn't secure mid, you could have used the pressure in mid to secure top and then even start threatening the tier 2. And then when the enemy team tries to recall to defend tier 2, that actually leaves the mid tier 1 exposed, right? So I think the Mad Lions just kind of like, they're slowing the game down a little too much. You can make the argument that, hey, we actually have the scaling advantage, and when we actually come to these fights, we're going to feel stronger. But how these fights actually execute is going to be super interesting, because as much dive as there is on the side of MDK, there is a decent amount of disengage. You think about this Akali trying to go in, how will the Lee Sin interact with it, right? While in the laning phase they've been able to avoid each other, that doesn't stop Lee from being a good answer into Akali as you go later on into the game. And the same thing for Vi, even if she does ult in, there are a lot of potential follow-ups, but what can this Alistar do to defend? What can the Zhao do to defend? I don't know if it's as simple as they make it look. The poke, though, from MDK looking pretty promising.
Yeah, Myrwn has a lot of damage with Horizon Focus. Malignant's already complete. You can see Ice already down to about half HP here. He will heal up a little bit. MDK will gain control of this top side.
Still, though, it's BDS chasing Mad Lions Koi around the map rather than BDS being the ones in control. Like, they shifted everyone down because Elyoya was looking for a nuke who would overextend the bot side. So now that kind of shuts down all the waves. BDS, though, have immediately continued to push in this bot side. I assume someone on Mad Lions Koi would have stuck around to defend that. We can see now several resets coming in because they see 2 members there. They think that, oh, maybe they're actually going for a big push on towards this tier 2. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for people to try and spread out on the map more rather than kind of playing, not to sound bad, but they're just chasing the football around at Sunday football kind of idea.
And sometimes that is what happens in later portions of a best of 5 because teams are playing so much for BDS not to lose the series, for MDK to make it to the finals. Sometimes you lose track of those more intricate moments in macro. We have seen MDK playing the map very well in the first couple of games, and against Fnatic yesterday as well, they were able to pull them around the map here. Both teams just a little bit more reactive than we would like to see. MDK, though, do have control of this top side. No vision at all for BDS in the river. Now 1 ward placed.
The more time they give to Supa to get towards 4 items, though, the better it kind of is for Mad Lions Koi. That's really where Supa just becomes an insanely strong threat alongside Elyoya. So we'll have to see if he ends up getting to that position at the moment. Mad Lions Koi move his group up, push in mid, establish vision top side. It's pretty typical. And all this is given is time for Fresskowy to go, cool, I can take top tower and nuke. Cannot deal with Fresskowy in a side lane at the moment, especially with the Zhonya's Hourglass. There's a ton of threat. Like in a team fight, Nuke will do significantly more if left unharmed, but Fresskowy in a 1v1 will have that advantage.
Arm guards completed for Nuke will make it that much harder for him to die, but he's got a full level over Fresskowy. They're doing what they do a lot with Nuke, where he just sits in a side lane, soaks up a lot of farm.
And they're looking for Jenax.
I don't think they'll find him though.
Just retreats away, and that's also part of it because Elyoya has such a long-range engaged threat. I think it's around 2,100 range with the Bolt Breaker into cease and desist. You have to play so passively if you're in a side lane and you don't see him, because there's always the possibility he's waiting 2 walls across and can just engage on you from a mile away. Jenax has to back away. Myrwn able to push out that wave. The tower not falling. Both teams a bit of a stalemate as we wait for the next dragon. It is in 25 seconds time. Will MDK fight it? Most of their vision control has been based around this top side of the map, and they could just say, well, you guys take the Drake, it's only your 3rd of the game. We instead will look towards the Baron.
I actually think they're opening up for Fresskowy to have a great flank angle because he's going to be able to push in on this top side. You have no vision at all on this top half of the map and come in towards this jungle, and that's going to make it very, very tough to try and contest this. Jenax will have to commit his TP from this bottom side if he wants to try and help out here.
True Shot Barrage in, they see it's at 9,000 HP. Sheo can dash the wall as well. Myrwn forced away as Ice dashes in and Myrwn falls. Shutdown goes over to Nuke, and now MDK have to back off the Baron. Recall immediately from Fresskowy. He's going to try and answer that bot wave push. Will BDS continue towards the Baron? Their pings go down on the Dragon. Instead, they decide for the safer objective of the 2.
A single misstep was all it took. MDK, as you rightly called, trying to force the TP out from Jenax. The flank was being created by Fresskowy, sitting in the fog of war.
Elyoya's really deep here. Now, so he is going to get the knock-up on Labrov, and Supa and Alvaro are on their way. Cease and desist onto Nuke, the dive in as well. TP invested by Jenax. Stopwatch from Nuke will buy him a second. Counter TP as well from Fresskowy as he tries to dive onto the backline. Supa going low. True shot barrage will find him too. So far over to Fresskowy. They're looking to make it 3 as Jenax has to dash away from Elyoya. Fresskowy flashes the wall. Jenax flashes in response. It's the Sonic Wave. Now Ice and Sheo want a piece of the action, want a piece of the party. Ice dashes in. Sheo still looking for that flank. The BDS should accept that they got a kill out of it and can just back away.
2 members of BDS going down, but they did get the Dragon on the back of it, and Mountain Soul now on the cards for them. I kind of think is a fairly decent spot to be in. Like, this is definitely an overextension here. You could just have backed away and not given that opportunity. Like, even where the wave is positioned, not really a threat on towards the tier 2 where it's at, but then they commit more members in to try and fix this. The fact that Supa goes down thanks to the Arcane Barrage is absolutely insane. Like, the fact that he managed to snipe in the back, that could have been a very different story, but Jenax just forced to leg it as soon as he gets that opportunity to get out of that.
Credit to Nuke, he did as much damage as he could in that window. The arm guard buying him as much time as possible. The problem for BDS is Fresskowy has a death cap. Akali was weaker than this Azir was before. She is not weaker anymore. Her ability, her kill threat just rose exponentially. And the Zhonya's gives you so much survivability in these fights as well. It's something that they're going to have to be scared of. The good news is Ice now level 16, 3.5 items fully completed. It's going to be a difficult target to lock down as we get closer and closer to a big fight that it just feels like is on the horizon.
I don't know why we're threatening here, though. Again, you can stick Fresskowy into the side lane, and what I'd love to see right now as teams back away is if you can get Fresskowy in towards this top side of the map, he just shoves in here, and then as soon as you see Azir coming in towards that top side, you drift in towards the mid lane and put pressure there, because you know that someone has to try and defend this outer turret here from BDS. But because we end up in a position where they're not really putting pressure on towards that top side and drawing people around the map, they keep kind of stunting themselves, getting the vision in rather than actually getting anywhere with the push.
Especially since MDK are at a TP disadvantage right now. If they aren't pulling Nuke into dealing with that top lane, he can just push through bot. Now Fresskowy has to answer, and MDK have to give up all pressure around the Baron because they know that Akali cannot join them in the fight anywhere near as quickly, at least, as the Azir can. Sheo stepping forward, looking to steal away this blue. Dragon 2.5 minutes away would be soul for BDS if they can secure it. The blue goes over, BDS get 5 for 1. Alvaro stepping in, True Shot Barrage lands on 2. Myrwn and Alvaro chunked out just a little bit. Fresskowy has joined the fray. No mid waves to fight over yet, but they're on their way. 5 seconds away from clashing in that mid lane once again.
But still, like, you're perfectly happy here as Myrwn to just clear these waves all day, right? So if BDS are grouped as 5 like this, I don't feel like Mad Lions quite needs to respond to it fully. But with Myrwn, as you can see, like, he'll be able to push in. You got Supa who can pick you in the wave as well. I think you can keep pressure.
I was really worried that they were just going to keep looking at each other, but BDS finally forcing the Baron, forcing MDK to try and respond to them.
Fresskowy's going to try and get around here. Will be spotted on that control ward. Labrov locked up for the second. Baron secured by BDS. Can they get out, or do they look for the engage? Dashing forward, Elyoya going in. Cease and desist on Labrov. Hostile takeover's going to land on 4 as well. As Sheo in the backline with the Crescent Guard just doesn't take any damage. BDS can re-engage, but perhaps discretion is the better part of valor here as the Killer Instinct goes in. Nuke tries to open up a Supa. The Killer Instinct shield not enough to keep him alive. Elyoya trading up towards the top side. 2 kills so far to MDK. Myrwn able to find one on the backline as Nuke falls, and now it's all on Ice and Jenax, and Fresskowy's diving in. Ice on a rampage. Myrwn falls. Jenax diving back forward as Elyoya falls low. Ice begins to open up, and the bailout won't save you today. It's a triple for Ice. Give Jenax one to boot as BDS finally roar into life.
We get to see what Ezreal can do when he's left untouched in these fights. Hopping, jumping, skipping all over the bodies of Mad Lions Koi, and just like that, BDS, they're going to start cracking open these towers.
BDS finally find a fight in this series. MDK have done a great job of denying it in every single game, but after the Baron falls, MDK say we need to make something happen. The ultimate comes out from Elyoya onto the Alistar of all people, which could have ended in disaster if it weren't for that great ultimate from Alvaro, separating Sheo from the rest of his team. I think Sheo oversteps it though, as the rest of BDS, they're looking to reset. Labrov is super low. Supa goes in thinking that he can get himself a double kill here, get shut down. The Zhonya's comes through, whereas Sheo dies off on the right-hand flank. Jenax doesn't quite have enough damage to get the kill onto Myrwn. You're thinking in a 4 versus 2, this should be a cleanup for MDK. but then the range that Ice is playing from is too difficult for MDK to close that gap, and it ends up in a teamfight win. But now we're back into the action as the Dragon is spawning.
And it's sold for BDS if they can secure it. Already 4,000 gold off this Baron. Elyoya trying to get in. Supa diving forward. Sheo dives onto the backline himself. Labrov not here to help out with the re-engages. Fresskowy looks for the flank, but he's spotted by a control ward. Cease and desist going in as Ice is locked up. Elyoya flashes the wall, but Ice follows through. Hostile takeover has Nuke battering into the back of his team. Supa finds one. Fresskowy though hit with a kick. And now Ice at Jenax and Sheo, the three members of BDS left alive, as Supa's already got 2 kills in this fight. And he's come out damn healthy. Sheo still has the smite. He can look for the steal. Elyoya no flash on him. Ice joining up with his team as BDS look for the re-engage. A steal here could turn the game on its head. Elyoya dashing to the side, Jenax dashing in as Alvaro falls low. Myrwn takes a chunk with an arcane shift and a mystic shot. The true shot barrage finds 2. He's got ice in his veins and death in his eyes as BDS find the shutdown. The Dragon secured, the fight secured, and a hope in the series secured as well.
A triple kill for Ice, and his damage is relentless. He is consistently untouched, and every time Fresskowy tries to get onto the backline, Jenax shuts it down. We go back to the start of the fight. The ultimate already committed from Supa. The ultimate comes through from Elyoya, but Ice is perfectly safe. He's in a reasonable position. He realizes, but look at this flash from Jenax. Immediately shield into kick. He knows who he needs to protect, and he stands his guard. Ice remains alive, and again, even though they're at a numbers disadvantage, keep your eyes on the Ezreal here. Watch the damage that he is able to do onto Myrwn. Connects the W into the Q, entire health bar gone. Then turns his attention to Elyoya. The ultimate then taking half of Supa's life. Supa dealing with 3 targets single-handedly to allow Jenax and Sheo to get the cleanup. Incredible play from Ice. This Ezreal is on fire.
And Ice understanding so well that there's just no real turn potential there left on Madline's Koi. Once Elyoya's ultimate is down, there's not really anything else that can go for him, so he's able to arcane shift aggressively forward, get the damage down on towards the Karma, immediately turn on to the rest of Madline's Koi in the pit. Ice is having a stormer of a game.
I mean, look at Fresskowy. Jenax, huge credit needs to be given to him. We talked about how in the laning phase he wasn't able to shut down this Akali, but in these fights he's making it impossible for him to play.
And Supa's doing his darndest to keep MDK in this game. Alvaro flashes away. Labrov will take that, but Supa begins to open up the Unbreakable will. Pretty breakable as Labrov falls down to half HP. Two-shot barrage out from Ice. He's full build, more of Malmortius than Cyrilda's grudge complete on the Ez. Supa still has an item to go. And if he can continue to dish out this DPS, the hopes aren't lost for MDK to make it a quick 3-0.
I do feel like this is a battle of AD carries right now. If they can kill Ice, then MDK definitely stand a chance of winning.
Jenax tries to dash away, and Laure has cease and desist here. Man's the knock-up with the Vault Breaker. TP invested as well. As Myrwn will join the fray. Now, Jenax is dead. He has the GA. No one really there to save him. Nuke's pushing in top. Sheo pushing in mid. Ice was away on a red buff. And there's the shutdown. More gold into Supa's back pocket.
It's a wave in top. They should be able to secure this inhibitor, but let's see if MDK can get back in time. That they will. BDS going to show that respect. So nothing gained, even though MDK committed a lot of resources outside of the control over the top side of the map. Entire top side of MDK's jungle is littered with wards, and the Baron is spawning in 35.
And with Jenax only available in 40, it means that at least Madline's Koi should be able to re-establish control of their top side, shift that vision in onto the opposite side of the map, and look for a fight that actually gives them opportunity for flanks and Fresskowy, finding attack options for Ice, rather than these kind of scattered fights as Labrov.
Hex flashes the wall. It's a scary situation. Thought it was going to be a medium rare on someone's plate. In a second, Labrov does have the upgraded Unbreakable will. Look at where Elyoya is. He's trying to get behind BDS here. Fresskowy did that so well yesterday against Fnatic. Elyoya, things go down towards his area. BDS now grouping up. Jenax on his way.
He's the only player.
He's in the mid lane.
So he's perfectly safe from any of these flanks. BDS is suspicious of their top side. No, but he has spotted Fresskowy, but Jenax should see him soon.
He's going the wrong way to spot him. If Fresskowy's just hiding in that bush by the Razor Beaks, and that's exactly what he's doing. Labrov down to half HP. Nuke looking for a flank of his own. Labrov pops the Unbreakable will. TP in behind by Jenax. Fresskowy waiting for his moment. The opportune time to strike. Cease and desist. Dive in with a perfect execution, but the Emperor's Divide separates them immediately. Still Fresskowy takes the kill. And now it's all on Nuke to put down the damage. Supa's fallen. Fresskowy trying to do everything he can here, even through the bailout. He's kicked, he's locked up, he's knocked up, and he's down. BDS looking to push through mid.
The response from Nuke on the Emperor's Divide, they barely spot out the Akali trying to get that position and immediately follow him back, and with the bases being stopped, this is going to be it. BDS, they're going to win the game.
They shut down Ice, but the secondary carry in Nuke stands strong. It's only Myrwn. I don't know if his wave clear is enough. Of course, the Karma, he's not going to be given the chance.
Dashes away, but Jenax takes them out. The Nexus Tower's in the sights of BDS. They were knocked to the mat twice, but they came back up and they said, I think I've got one more in me. They will take us to game 4 eventually as Nuke padding out the stats before they take out the Nexus. One more dance between BDS and MDK.
It was a hard-fought fight for BDS. MDK tried desperately to find the flank angles that they needed, but good vision control, good responses to those attacks from the solo laners on BDS, and they're able to bring us to that game number 4.
And what a game it is looking to be. It looked MDK favored in game 1 and game 2. BDS have struck back. We'll see if they can fight back in game 4.